Hey everyone, welcome to Slow News Day Live. My name is Steve Poikinen. I am briefly in the Santa Cruz Mountains in Central California. I am joined by my better than your co-host, Glory Jones. What's happening, Glory? How are you?
I'm happening.
All right. I'm glad you could make it today. I know you weren't feeling the best earlier. We got a lot to talk about, guys. We are definitely going to dive into the U.S. Being able to continue their slow motion crucifixion of Julian Assange. The president of Haiti was Clinton-sided this morning. We're going to get into that some. There's a lot that's been going on. We haven't really been able to do a slow news day in a couple of weeks. I was covering the Home Run for Julian tour. As you guys all know, we had a number of events that took place throughout the country over the last couple of weeks. Gloria and I were in Los Angeles a few days ago on Julian Assange's birthday with a lovely event in Echo Park. We can get into that a little bit too. We went down into Los Angeles on the 4th of July. We live streamed that for you guys too. We found the Farce of July protests that a number
Yeah.
of indigenous organizations throw every year. Had some great interviews with some of the organizers and the people who spoke. We then went to Hollywood and got on the corner of Hollywood and Vine with the bullhorn, walked out. Gloria did at least walk out into the street with that motherfucker. I was trying to get the camera set up and didn't know she was going to go. That
Oh.
was interesting. And yeah, dude, it it was a good day. It was a good way to cap off that trip. Drove back here, did Union of the Unwanted, and passed out for about 11 hours of just complete and total body shutdown. I don't in any way, shape, or form feel rested or rejuvenated, but here we are. We have a protest that we've been organizing for on behalf of Commander X. It's going to happen July 20th. California people, specifically Bay Area, Silicon Valley, Santa Cruz people. July 20th, noon, Peckham Federal Court Building, 280 South 1st Street in San Jose. Again, at noon. Again, rally for Commander X. We are most likely going to have a simultaneous one in Santa Cruz on the spot where the sleep in protest was decade ago, which is sort of what sparked Commander X's journey into cyber activism. And we encourage everyone, no matter where you are, to hold a solidarity event. If you would like a flyer template, we can make that happen. If you would like advice on how to organize or how to do this, here to help. Let us know, dude. We got you on this. Tuesday, July 20th. Um, Bombard other media people and other media organizations with this flyer, with the protest information, with information about X and his case. This is fucking ridiculous. And it is just a piece of Joe Biden's war on whistleblowers, activists, journalists, and publishers. This is an ongoing battle. And yes, it's our friend who's locked up. And yes, it is
Yes.
deeply personal. But we have the same energy for each and every political prisoner who has fallen victim to the US empire and specifically the Obama Biden years and Biden's seeming continuation of the exact same war that him and my friend Barack were engaged in for those 8 years when they were the public relations liaisons for American and global oligarchs. Having
Yeah.
said that, um, Do we want to do the Assange appeal?
I don't know what order you want to go in, but sure.
Okay. Where I had it. God damn it. Now I have to go get it again. Hang on.
I mean, well, in short, after months of not hearing literally anything from the courts and not having any idea of what was happening legal wise, because obviously they were trying to drag out this case so Julian could die in prison. We received word that the U.S. was granted permission to do a limited appeal on the ruling in the Assange extradition case.
Oh, you know what?
Limited means that they can't appeal the mental health part of Julian Assange's of the decision. I'm pretty sure that's the part that they can appeal on, and that's kind of what a limited appeal means. Yeah, there it is.
So, oh, you fucking son of a bitch. UK High Court will consider the U.S. government's appeal, but Julian Assange should not be in the position in the first place. This was Rebecca Vincent. Okay, where's the actual? Here we go. High Court of Justice in the UK agreed to hear the government's appeal in the extradition case against WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange, but on limited grounds. According to Stella Morris, the High Court rejected the efforts of the U.S. government to second guess the magistrate's conclusion on medical and expert advice. It allowed the U.S. to challenge the court's findings on prison conditions. No date was immediately set for a hearing on the appeal. It was unclear whether the High Court had considered the request by Assange's legal team for a cross appeal. The dissenter reviewed the appeal submissions on behalf of the U.S. government. The Crown Prosecutorial Service challenged district court and concierge to the U.S. State Department. Judge Vanessa Brazer's decision to oppose extradition on account of Assange's medical condition. Prosecutors contended the judge made errors of law when determining whether it would be oppressive to approve his extradition. They also insisted the judge should have notified the U.S. government of her provisional view so they could offer her assurances to alleviate her concerns. Go fucking blow yourself. Furthermore, prosecutors maintain the judge should have disqualified defense psychiatrist Professor Michael Koppelman, whose assessment and testimony on Assange played a crucial part in her decision, of course. Attorneys for Assange countered claims that the Crown Prosecution Service put forward in the appeal, maintaining Brazier did not commit an error when she concluded Assange's suicidal impulses would come from his psychiatric condition and would not be his own voluntary act. Regarding the argument that the judge was wrong to favor Koppelman's evidence, Assange's legal team asserted this attack totally fails to recognize the entitlement of the primary decision maker to reach her own decision on the weight to be attached to the expert evidence of the defense on the one hand and the prosecution experts on the other. The High Court apparently agreed Brazier was well within her right to consider what weight to attach to evidence from each of the medical professionals. Prosecutors offered the High Court assurances that were never put forward during or prior to the extradition trial. They suggested the U.S. government would not impose special administrative measures, SAMs, we've covered these extensively, against Assange in pretrial confinement or in prison if he was convicted, though they did not say they would not hold him in administrative segregation or other forms of isolation. Assange will receive clinical and psychological treatment as is recommended by a qualified treating clinician employed or retained by the prison where he is held, the prosecutors added. How nice. The prosecutors claimed Assange would not be imprisoned at ADX Florence in Colorado, Supermax, but they included a caveat that left open the possibility he could be sent to the facility if he committed a future act that met the test for designation. Jones, you want to weigh in so far?
I've already said a lot about this subject, but I mean, Gosh. I mean, I guess and this is nothing against Kevin's article, by the way, but for this to be, what we have after months and months of the legal case being dragged out really shows you kind of what their game plan here with the appeals processes in real time.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I got for now.
Ray McGovern had an excellent article on antiwar.com. Let's go to that because it's Uncle Ray, but he ties together a lot of things in this piece that are certainly worth covering. So very bad news for those who still care about freedom of the press and what the fate of Julian Assange means for the artifact First Amendment added to the Constitution 240 years ago. The UK High Court just announced it will hear the U.S. appeal of a lower court decision against extraditing Julian Assange. Godot is likely to arrive before the U.S. and UK finish the legal pantomime denying Assange his freedom. The High Court decision solidifies Britain's status as a U.S. vassal state, the 800-year legacy of the Magna Carta be damned, giving obsequious hypocrisy a bad name. The High Court's announcement comes a week and a half after the prime witness for the latest indictment of Assange recanted his testimony. It should come as no surprise that British justice officials are following the detailed Washington playbook approach that was exposed by WikiLeaks itself in February 2012. Some readers may recall that WikiLeaks revealed confidential emails from the U.S. private intelligence firm Stratfor mentioned that the U.S. already had a secret indictment against the WikiLeaks founder. Bad enough. This is, if you haven't read Les Mis, this will be largely lost on you, but worth going for the quotes alone in this piece of fucking shit, Fred Burton. What also showed up in the Stratfor emails was the unrelenting Inspector Javert type approach taken by one Fred Burton, Stratfor's VP for Counterterrorism and Corporate Security. Burton had been deputy chief of the Department of State's Counterterrorism Division for the Diplomatic Security Service. Here's Javert, Burton. Move him, Assange, from country to country to face charges for the next 25 years, but seize everything he and his family own, to include every person linked to WikiLeaks. Ray says, my comment, country to country or equally effective, court to court. And that is exactly what's happening right fucking now. More from Burton. Pursue conspiracy and political terrorism charges and declassify the death of a source, someone which could be linked to WikiLeaks. Assange is a peacenik. He needs his head dunked in a full toilet bowl at Gitmo. Take down the money. Go after his infrastructure. The tools we are using to nail and deconstruct WikiLeaks are the same tools used to dismantle and track Al-Qaeda. Bankrupt the asshole first, ruin his life, give him 7 to 12 for conspiracy. Assange is going to make a nice bride in prison. Screw the terrorist. He'll be eating cat food forever. Extradition to the U.S. is more and more likely. Nice people, once sworn under oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Since comparisons are invidious, apologies to Javert and Victor Hugo. It's not clear whether the likes of Fred Burton have been able to dictate the menu for Julian Assange, but who would be surprised? What is clear is that unless a major grassroots campaign can gather more steam and soon, Julian is likely to be moved from court to court, prison to prison, all under color of law until they destroy what is left of him. It is a sad pantomime, a mockery of justice. Talk about Les Miserables. As UN Rapporteur for Torture Niels Melzer has pointed out, Julian Assange is being subjected to psychological torture in full view of the rest of the world. And as reprehensible as this crime is, still more is at stake for democracies, which cannot exist without a free media. I'm going to say that again. Still more is at stake for democracies, which cannot exist without a free media. Last Saturday, Julian Assange celebrated his 50th birthday in London's high security Belmarsh prison. I was asked to record a message to be loudspeaker to the demonstration in support of Julian before the prison that day. Here's the recording. For those lacking appreciation for my singing, the 8-minute talk is transcribed at raymcgovern.com. Julian Assange turns 50. So I want to get your take on this article from Uncle Ray, but I want to tie a couple of things that he was writing about into real time shit, and maybe vent a bit about that.
You know what? I gotta be real. I'm on a bit of my Jose Mourinho shit right now with some of those statements that were repeated in that article by Ray. If I speak. So, but it's just an ultimate indictment against every single value the West pretends to have, that this is where we are in the biggest press freedom case, that you have these absolute fucking cunts saying that about a journalist, about someone who would become a torture victim. People who pretend to stand up for refugees and torture victims, then turning around to go spit on them, spit in their faces with this case against Julian and with cases like the one against Commander X. It's absolutely just disgusting in every way, shape, or form. It really is, because, oh my God, this is literally such... there are too many nails in the coffin of the West concepts of justice, but this case, it might be the biggest one of them all, because it's directly attacking the values that we pretend to hold so near and dear to our heart. The values of journalism and dissidence and freedom and free press. All of those are under attack with the Assange case, and you guys are laughing about persecuting the dude. You have fucking dunces like Antony Blinken going out saying, "Oh no, I can't comment on it because it's a legal case. It's up to the legal people to decide." Bitch, fucking 2 weeks ago, this dude was saying, "Oh, we have to stand up for torture victims." Assange is a torture victim. Assange is a refugee that was granted political asylum in the Ecuadorian embassy in London. Yet you won't extend any of those pleasantries to him because you can't. You have to remain shallow in your facetious pleasantries, because otherwise that would require you to actually take steps to prevent the empire from doing the work that it does best, of torturing people, of creating refugees, of suppressing dissidents. And it's so disgusting to think that that's where we are in this case.
So to tie some things back to Ray's article, some real world shit. That is not the article that I was reading. Here we go. Ray says, oh god damn it, where'd it go? Ray says what is clear is that unless a major grassroots campaign can gather more steam, and soon, Julian is likely to be moved from court to court, prison to prison, all under color of law, until they destroy what is left of him. That's true. That's 100% accurate. So here's what we need. Here's what we need in terms of how we go about doing that. We have the infrastructure that already exists. We've got decentralized Assange chapters now in a dozen or like 14 cities. I promise you that's going to grow. Um, we get to add Vegas to that now. Thank you, Hunter. I'm super glad you got to meet some people. I'm super
Hunter.
glad that those people know that they're not alone and know that they're not alone in fucking Vegas. That is huge, dude. And fucking thank you. Like, you rock. I'm very, very stoked that you did that. You kick ass. Um, when, when when it comes down to like getting people out in the streets, here's what we need. Here's what we need from you guys. Here's what we need from all of our colleagues, not just at MCSC, but in the independent media in fucking general. If there's an event anywhere and you have the opportunity to super chat, rockfin tip, talk to, like, if you're listening right now and you have a show and you are conversational with people who live in the town where an event is, make these motherfuckers promote it. I don't care what town, I don't care what Assange related event or what free press or what command, like anything that has to do with getting information out that is going to save the life of an innocent journalist, publisher, whistleblower, pin as many people in media down as you can. Bare minimum, get them to promote that event. They don't have to show up. In some cases, in every case, 100%, in every case, if you're not going to promote the event, if you're not going to tell the people who are part of your base that this thing is happening, it's worth their time to go check out, you're going to be there. Not even that you're going to speak, but you're going to be there in support. If you're not going to do that, it matters fuck all if you show up. We, glad, thanks, but are you not proud of the movement? Are you not committed to the reason why the event is being held, that you would not want to share that and promote it? Or is it having to admit that you're going to be in the same space as the organizers? Like, I don't get why that shit wouldn't happen. I don't. Why you wouldn't be like, hey, there's a thing. You should go to the thing. It's really good reason that the thing is being held. Go support that. Maybe I'm just high. Jones?
Yeah. I mean, work that shit into everything. Like, like we're fucking Full Metal activists over here. We've managed to work Assange into conversations in a freaking food order line. You know, I've taken people who come up and compliment my hair and talk to them about fucking Palantir. Like, that's what being an activist is about. It's being about being able to raise hell in small and big ways for your cause. It's about being able to talk about it with anyone and bring people together to these events, to try and bring people together. I mean, that's just one of the key tenets of activism in my mind. So, you have to be able, and it's not something that you might not be able to do at first, because there are always mental hurdles to talking about this shit. But once you get into it, don't stop. because we can't stop. We can't afford to be stopping anytime soon here. So
Yep, and we need everybody. We do. We do. And let me share a little bit of in-house good news. Alluded to this a little bit ago on Misty's show. I got to drop in on Bitch with Comrade Misty, Natalia Rivera Scott from the Mexico for Julian
yes.
organization, friend of X, friend of ours. She was on and had a good talk, was able to promote the event over there. So, you guys, do you remember a couple of months ago when we started talking about how I bet, and we'll see it before too long, that on Rockfin we pass our YouTube subscriber count? Well, so not only did that happen, but as of now we have doubled with 11,135 on the Rockfin, our 5.54 that YouTube has benevolently allowed us to keep. Now, y'all, we're bigger than Abby Martin over here. I just want you
Even
to know.
action for Assange has 10K.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
That's all thanks to like
Franco!
you guys. Franco's fucking
Robbie,
screaming.
guys, let's get Robbie
Let's
Franco
get
fastening
Robbie over
around
to
the 10th
10K.
grade.
If you're not subscribed to Roblet O Fire on the Rockfin, Robbie Receipts, who will be our guest tomorrow night. If you're not on, if he's not on push notifications for you, and you give a damn at all about like exposing, calling out, or even seeing just how financially craven, corrupt, and fucking uh megalomaniacal and oligarchical our politicians are, Robbie's your dude. Robbie's your dude.
And
He
our fam, Hear Me Out podcast, they're on there too. I think they're at like 2.5K right now, which is awesome because they literally just gone on there like only a couple weeks ago. So subscribe to them as well. Subscribe to the whole MCSC fam. You know, it is awesome to see the whole fam doing well over on Rockfin, and you know, big up those guys for uplifting like independent content and stuff. So yeah.
Hell yeah. And while we're on that subject, whether or not we want it to be, the show's full time now, which means we are flying solely on what you guys are kind enough to send our way. We're going to put out what I hope is a temporary and merely supplemental for a couple of months GoFundMe. Gonna do that probably tomorrow, ahead of our show with Robbie. If not, we'll have it by the time we do get your shit together on Friday. Because there's 11,000 people that are following the channel right now. Really need some of those people to subscribe and endorse the channel. It's $10 a month. You get all of the paywall content on the site. I am going to start adding a little bit here and there. I don't like the idea of it, but we're fucking full time now. And like, I'm gonna throw some shit up as bonus content. But anybody who has a premium Rockfin account gets to see it. Huge shout out to the Convo Couch, though, by the way, because they are responsible for a ridiculous amount of people coming over to the show on Rockfin, and we love them. And, of course, thank you for letting me sleep on your couch for the better part of a week. That was, and feeding me.
Yeah, Cabo.
Very, very nice. But, see how much I hate talking about needing to fucking fund the show? You see how much I hate this shit?
You were doing fine.
Jesus Christ, I hate this shit. But it's the only way we can do it. I feel like what we do has a lot of value that we've been able to contribute pretty significantly to people's overall understanding of this shit show that we're all involved in, and it gets to fund the activism. It gets to keep us on the ground. It gets to keep us throwing these events and going to cover things. So Shadow Band Refugee always gives me shit for this and tells me that I shouldn't hate it. I'm sorry, dude. I do. But like,
Orale, Shadow Band.
yeah, much love, bro. And you're right, and I'm wrong here. You're 100% right about this, and I am not. Um, and that's something that I'm gonna have to fucking get over. It is. I'll be perfectly honest with you guys. I told this to Ali on the phone earlier today. The last fucking thing I want is to, in any way, shape, or form, like fucking Jordan Sheridan up the show. So we're never going to do that. We're never going to give you a telethon with occasional hacked journalism. That's not going to happen. But I'll get better and faster, like less painful at it. Probably at least once, if not twice, during a couple hour broadcast, we'll bring this up. It would be nice if people helped out Bill. If you check our pinned tweet right now, it's got immediate ways you can support the show, which do have kind of an immediate need for. I have fucking crypto I can't access. It sucks. Long story. But also broke. So there's a PayPal and a Cash App. They're both at Slow News Day Show. The Cash App is $, not an at. Bitcoin wallet is up there. Ethereum wallet is up there. That's basically the only ways to do that at the moment. We are gonna put out a GoFundMe. And guys, this is not just for me. This is, I also, like, Sleepy needs paid way more than I ever could right now, but I'm also going to build him a house. So hopefully there's a little bit of balance there. But I do need to give this motherfucker like way more money than he currently gets, which is none. Or occasional, like when I have a little bit. Josh's Buy Me a Coffee is on our pin, on the pin tweet on the Slow News Day Twitter account. If you can, please, dude, throw Josh coffee or 30. He drinks a lot of coffee. I think that's all it for the shit that I hate. Yeah.
You gotta stop sounding like so painful when you do it. Like,
you know what? I'll tell you what. If anyone is listening, you're independently wealthy. You got a fuck ton of money. You're willing to part with a little bit of it to you. $250,000. I will not ask my audience for a dime for a long while.
All right.
$250,000, no fundraising pitch for 2 years. Feel free to throw more, imaginary, independently wealthy person. Feel free. You know, I mean, really, sky's the limit here. Imaginary person. Run wild. I don't know, man. Options are good, right? They are. They're good. But yeah, there's a bunch of shit that we're gonna work on too, which includes merch store, which includes me utilizing the email list for Rockfin subscribers to like make sure everybody knows who's coming up on the show, when we do a show, what we're going to be doing, who else we're promoting, because this is definitely about bringing up more people than just the people on camera and behind the scenes right now. Especially with the MCSC network, we got a lot of boats we try and lift. So, and we're doing a lot of cool shit. Glory Jones, you have some stuff that you wanted to get into.
Yes, I do. I'll start with Haiti first. So, as I'm pretty sure you guys have heard, because and I won't get too into the front end of it, just because Convo Couch did a really good job of covering bases with that earlier in their stream that they did today. Haiti's president was essentially assassinated, but by Spanish-speaking mercenaries, because there's a video of them essentially speaking what sounds a lot like Spanish. It's a bit jumbled, but at one point you can hear some of them saying something along the lines of like "dígame otro" or like "dime otro" or something like that. And their accents are very clearly, if I were to honestly guess, like they were from Miami. So that's that. And it appears to be very much having a lot of Western footprints on it. And I wanted to show this thread, which is on their current acting interim president. Let me from Madame Boukman, if I'm saying that right. She's a really good account to follow on Haiti. I've been following her on a lot of updates. Like, I've been quietly following her as well for a long time, because she talks a lot about tourist development in the Caribbean as an extension of imperialism. So I want to plug her account as well. But this is a thread she has on the current acting president. Dr. Claude Joseph is currently meeting with core group on the political situation caused by the scoundrel assassination of the president of the republic, Jovenel Moise. The head of government wants to reassure the partners of the international community that he has control of the situation, and that under his presidency, the Council of Ministers ensures the continuity of the state. So here's the actual thread, because here's what he's done recently. Claude Joseph decreed a state of siege this morning and is currently in a meeting with the core group, which comprises of the US, Canada, France, Brazil, Spain, Germany, the European Union, United Nations, and the OAS. Jovenel Moise was too unpopular. They knew elections with him was impossible, so they eliminated him. Haiti is doomed. And then I also wanted to go deeper into the thread that she made on Claude Joseph. As groundwork for the coup back in 2004, Haiti's robber barons Charles Baker and Andy Apade led a caravan of hope funded by the US, Canada, and France, and promised a new social contract, quote unquote. Nearly 2 decades later, there's no social contract. The coup plotters get richer, the bourgeoisie in Haiti get richer, and the masses get poorer. And as a part of this kind of hope caravan, the CIA's NED, National Endowment for Democracy, created a fake student movement, Grafne, in Haiti in the 2000s, which partnered with the bourgeoisie mafia to destabilize/destroy the nation in promising democracy the poor majority fought to establish. The current de facto puppet, Prime Minister Claude Joseph was one of Ned's minions in this. And then that's hit right there as a part of that Ned-funded student movement. And then lastly, she says, watch out for this guy. That's all I have to say. Claude Joseph, a longtime US CIA puppet and de facto prime minister who lost his job the other day, issued an illegal decree to rule Haiti until the September 26th, selection election, because they're all selected in the West anyways, and is currently meeting with his imperialist masters, which included the countries of that core group mentioned earlier. So pretty much it's like a changing of the guard in Haiti, where all throughout this year, actually, and I apologize for more coverage not going to those, but all through this year, really, there were protests of the president of Haiti, and he was becoming wildly unpopular, particularly because a lot of crime and death and human tracking was escalating in key areas of Haiti as a part of tourist development, which is the main form of colonialism in the Caribbean, where they seek to drive away the native population of a region to clear it out for tourists, which in this instance would be the white settlers. So that was causing so there was a lot of turmoil with that, and then that was kind of feeding into all the anti-government protests going on in Haiti. So Moise was becoming very unpopular as a result of this. So it culminated in him getting taken out by the US because they wanted to bring in another puppet. At the end of the day, shed no tears for the puppet, but they're just going to bring in another Western puppet in Claude Joseph, who has history with the CIA, with Ned, with these fake student movements.
And I went on with Nico earlier today to talk about this thing and a bunch of other things as well. And the general sense that we got was that this has all of the hallmarks of how the West, how the US, UK, and France specifically have dealt with puppet leaders that have fallen out of favor or have asked for too much or have, overstepped and forgot their place. So there's that aspect to it, because this goes back really to at least the 60s, if not earlier, in terms of deposing leaders in the global South and the Caribbean that again run foul of their puppet masters. So what do you think, Jones? Do you think that this is more Clintoncide, or is this a legitimate opposition party assassination?
I don't think it's a legitimate assassination by the opposition party, given that another Western puppet is quickly taking control here, and how State Department people are quickly jumping in to kind of ensure stability here. But at the same time, like, I don't want to pin it on a Clintoncide type deal, because I know that they have a heavy involvement in Haiti and in the proliferation of human trafficking there. But at the same time, regardless of whether if the Clinton Foundation existed or not, tourism development and Western imperialism would still be a problem in Haiti, in the Caribbean, and kind of, in that region as a whole. So.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know we had Robbie in the chat at one point. Big up, Robbie. I'm sorry. Let me shout out some of the super rays. Hunter, thank you very much, my dear. You rock. The Rockfin removed the tips only button, so now I'm back to scrolling. Developer guy, thank you. Shadowban refugee, I'm right, you're wrong. Orale. Fuck bitch ass charlatan. He's a rancid bucket of cunts. That's all one word. Bucket of cunts. I'm gonna have to crawl out of my hermit shell and get on the A4A train in the name of Porque. Do you think if I hook up with the boogs here in Los Lunas, they'd be down? Ooh, those Los Lunas boogs, man. Yeah, they would be. They would. They totally would. They would provide security. Shadow Band Refugee. I heard Jeffrey Katzenberg is in the market for media. Just kidding, fam. What about Klaus? Even more just kidding. I love you guys and miss sending you obnoxious shit to watch you read on stream. Bro, we miss it too. We do. AREM in the Guardian. Haiti President Jovenel Moise assassinated. The attack happened barely 24 hours after, is it Moise? Moshe? I know it's Moshe if you're Israeli.
I think it would, I don't know. It's however you would say it in French. I don't speak French, and I know very, very limited Creole sayings.
Wow. I don't know. Happened barely 24 hours after he named a new Prime Minister, Ariel Henry, to take charge as the head of government and prepare the country for presidential elections in the next 2 months. So announced a transition of power and was immediately whacked. That's interesting. Yeah, that is. Timing on that is pretty wild. I mean, that really does sound like somebody who ran out of their usefulness. If you're going to get them to step aside, announce a new prime minister and new presidential elections, they're pretty much done with you, and you don't get that whole, like, you know, French fucking villa or whatever they call a villa in France. Chateau. No clue. There's some Jeff Bezos stepped down as CEO of Amazon so he could focus more on being an astronaut.
All right.
Yeah. Oh. So the dude who made like Amazon's cloud computing a reality, he'll be running Amazon now, which means Amazon.
They just lost that Jedi contract. By the way, they canceled it flat out a few days ago. But they're replacing it with something else. I don't know the details yet, but yeah, that remember that one that Microsoft and them were fighting about?
Yeah.
It just got pulled out from underneath both of them. So.
From both of them. So, but we don't know who has it now?
I think they canceled the whole fucking thing. So
the CIA has their own server farm now.
That's what I'm guessing. They said, fuck it, we'll do it in-house. But, like, and they're calling it something else that sounds more innocuous, I believe. I'll look for the article. I peeped it a few days ago.
Okay. We could talk about that tomorrow or Friday.
All right. I have another story here, which I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to bring up partially because one of our good friends, who I'll reveal soon, is doing great reporting on it. But there's kind of in this string of Western imperialism in the Global South news, essentially Western imperialists are trying to maintain its stronghold over the Horn of Africa region via the conflict taking place in the Tigray region of Ethiopia. And so I wanted to share the latest updates and kind of analysis in that conflict. And to do that, I have this article from Solar Tsunami, aka Seb Solomon. And for those of you that don't know, that is our amazing friend in the chat, Red Sea Socialist. So I wanted to show this because it's really good, and it's another issue that's really not getting much attention. So I just wanted to highlight this article here. I I recently read an analysis about the conflict in Ethiopia by Michael Horton in the Terrorism Monitor section on the Jamestown Foundation website, released late May. Tigray Defense Forces resist Ethiopian army offensive as Sudan, Eritrea, and ethnic militias enter the fray. Michael Horton is a fellow for Arabian Affairs at the Jamestown Foundation, a conservative think tank where Dick Cheney and Zbigniew Brzezinski were once board members. Furthermore, Horton is a co-founder of Red Sea Analytics International, an advisory firm recently incorporated in the UK. Red Sea Analytics International provides governments, international organizations, and the private sector with geopolitical analysis of events that impact security in the Red Sea region. According to Horton, another Rasay co-founder is Ahmed Al-Kameri, who is a program and development manager in Yemen and Syria for Chemonics, a private international development firm founded by Thurston Teal in 1975. More on Chemonics International in a later section. In the article, Horton asserts it is unlikely the Tigray Defense Forces will be defeated over a short or medium term because, as well as having a sympathetic local population, they have an abundance of weapons, fighters, officers, and commander like General Sadkan Gebretense, a billionaire who is a former chief of the ENDF, current board chairperson of Lion Bank, and founder Raya Brewery. Oops. Gebretense has been a vocal critic of Abiy Ahmed. In a 2019 interview, he said there was a strong feeling in the region that Tigray people were excluded by Abiy Ahmed making peace with Eritrea. The muddled nature of peace with Eritrea and the shuttle diplomacy has left people in the region concerned. Similarly, in the past, Gebretense has called for a more aggressive posture towards Eritrea because he believed it was vital for Ethiopia's national security. However, he seems to think the Tigray People's Liberation Front elites, who were in power for almost 30 years and of which he is one, are also a threat to Ethiopia's internal affairs. For example, in 2008, under the TPLF administration, Relief Web noted that tens of thousands of Somalis in the Ogaden region of Ethiopia were being forcibly displaced, having their homes burned down, experiencing abuses, and a humanitarian crisis were underway. And the Tigray People's Liberation Front is also kind of the proxy for a lot of Western imperialists who want to maintain power in the Horn of Africa region. However, the Western governments, including the US, UK, and EU, refrained from even mild public concern, much less criticism. The US government, a staunch Ethiopian ally, has minimized and possibly actively ignored internal concerns and reporting on the situation. Perhaps it is the continuity of the TPLF's rule that Gebretense cares about, and not so much Ethiopia's safety. Meanwhile, the BBC referred to Gebretense as the Tigray rebel mastermind who, in the past, tried to warn his TPLF colleagues that Eritrean leader Isaias Afwerki was a threat to Ethiopia. The BBC piece briefly mentioned that Gebretense was fired by Meles in 2000 for attempting to advance into the Eritrean capital of Asmara at the conclusion of the conflict that began in 1998. In my opinion, if a diabolical megalomaniac such as Meles ousts you from his administration for being too aggressive, it should sound an internal alarm. General Gebretense is the John Bolton of Ethiopia. And the rest of the article goes into that as well. And then I'm going to skip ahead to here. Let's compare two New York Times headlines about insurgency, one published June 29, 2021 about Ethiopia, and another from January 26, 2021 about DC. Jubilant Tigray capital greets insurgents after Ethiopian retreat versus a mob and the breach of democracy, the violent end of the Trump era. It is a surprise that the New York Times, Washington Post, and those alike portrayed the Tigray Defense Forces insurgency in a positive light, while still claiming the January 6th insurgency in DC was the biggest threat to U.S. democracy. No, it is not surprising because that is how warmongering publications run. Adding another abomination to their record of careless reporting yesterday, NYT featured an article with photos of 6,000 captured Ethiopian soldiers marching to prison while being paraded through the capital of Tigray by TDF forces as crowds cheered and applauded. So there's that. And then I just wanted to skip ahead to here where she goes further into where she went further into the distinctions between the two quote unquote insurrections. And then here's another one here. Abiy Ahmed, who was target of a lot of opposition, is essentially a neoliberal. And here I won't read this whole thing, but it was on full display because he spoke at the World Economic Forum and was involved with the WTO, the World Trade Organization. Likewise, to the principled and honest observer, it is obvious that Isaias is no bastion of hope or symbol of liberation for anyone. He is corrupt, just like Joseph Biden, Emmanuel Macron, or Abiy Ahmed. Isaias displays signs of severe narcissism and ignorantly believes punishing dissenters by turning them into political prisoners will quell the mass outrage over lack of elections and the shortage of freedom in Eritrea. Imagine thinking that the answer to the justified fury over inadequate civil liberties is locking up more people. He should free all of them and make amends for the pain he has inflicted on many people because no one is beyond redemption and it is never too late. And the last thing I'll read here, a side note to the people in the Northern Hemisphere who think they live in a civilized democracy or republic, having consistent government elections every few years does not guarantee a democracy, thank you, Sebs, or justice if the people making the policies are unethical and deceitful. And then in the rest of the article, she goes into chemonics, which was mentioned earlier. And then she continued, and then she ends it off with USAID coordinates with U.S. Special Operations to address complex challenges in fragile states, particularly in conflict situations, to ensure that diplomatic development and defense efforts are mutually reinforcing. So I highly recommend that everyone go read this full article and keep following Sebs for the information. Let me stop screen sharing for to learn more about the situation that's happening in Ethiopia, and also because there's many instances that happen all around Africa that very much mirror to a degree what's happening in Ethiopia, because we see all over Africa where you have the common elites in power versus the insurgents, and one of them always being a proxy of Western imperialists, and when at the end of the day, all they hope for is more destabilization so they can continue having a stronghold over whatever region in Africa they want, whether it be for resource exploitation or for strategic development of a smart city, or for or so they can serve as a testing grounds for fourth industrial revolution technology, or for any of that really. But ultimately, the West is always looking to kind of foment these conflicts in the global South. So that's one that I wanted to bring attention to because it's not getting talked about too much. And also want to big up our girl Sebs. Y'all go follow her over there.
Hell yeah. And also another friend of the show, friend of ours, Tedros Fikra, has written about this. If you want to know more about it, please go check out both of those cats. That's fucking very few people in the West, period, write about Africa. Even fewer write from the perspective of Africans. Just where we're at. So it's important that we highlight the people that are doing that work. And Seb's fucking rocks, dude. She does. I would feel remiss if I didn't include the clip I'm about to play. Josh, I looked at that article. I think I'm gonna wait until tomorrow because there's a lot that
No,
I
it was
want.
just for the future.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Maybe Friday. Maybe we'll do that for the call-in. But there is some silly shit that I gotta show you guys first, and then some cool shit that includes one Reverend Annie Chambers.
Daddy.
Reverend Annie was out speaking the other day. Here, let me open this one up. And if you're not in the Slow News Day Discord, you're missing out because magic happens there frequently. And this is one of those things. I popped in this morning to take a lap, see what was going on, and I see this. Watch your interview with the late McAfee a few minutes ago, and somehow your final question to him there inspired me to discover that if you rearrange the letters of World Economic Forum, you can get Lucifer Common Word with no letters left over. If one thinks of a word as a transactional relational exchange, then it is analogous to semantic currency. What do you think, Lori Jones?
I don't know.
Lucifer Common Word. Okay, before I punish everyone with Joe Biden, I'm gonna go with 30 seconds of Reverend Annie. Because yeah.
Reverend Annie.
Make sure that we've got decent volume there.
Every legislator in Annapolis should be out in front of him. Every legislator should be telling him that this has to change. I hope Baltimore, Maryland, Frederick, the whole state of Maryland remembers when he come up to talk about running for president. I hope they remember this. He don't give a damn about us. Every legislator in Annapolis.
I'm totally letting this play through all the way
should be
again.
out in front of him. Every legislator should be telling him that this has to change. I hope Baltimore, Maryland, Frederick, the whole state of Maryland remembers when he come up to talk about running for president. I hope they remember this. He don't give a damn about us.
Reverend Annie. Yay.
All I want to say is that they don't really care about us.
Mm-hmm. I love fired up Reverend Annie. I do.
I love Reverend Annie so much.
Okay. So this did happen yesterday. I'm sure most of you guys already saw it, but we would be fucking dropping the ball if we didn't comment on this shit from good old fucking sleepy Joe Biden.
Special focus on 5 ways to make gains in getting those of you who are unvaccinated vaccinated. Because here's the deal. We are continuing to wind down the mass vaccination sites that did so much in the spring to rapidly vaccinate those eager to get their first shot and their second shot, for that matter, if they needed a second. Now we need to go to community by community, neighborhood by neighborhood, and oftentimes door to door, literally knocking on doors to get help to the remaining people protected from the virus.
Number one, go fuck yourself. Number two, no. Number three, good luck finding my door. Number four, if you come, and you come specifically to be like, sir, have you heard the good news about our Lord and Savior Pfizer? We are going to have issues. Issues. Door to door for the vaccine. While I just saw that University of Maryland is now doing a raffle or lottery with scholarships in order to encourage incoming students to get vaccines. Sorry, experimental fucking gene therapy. My bad, y'all. But are you fucking kidding me? Door to door. Like, goddamn, Jehovah, Mark, somebody, I made a comment, quote tweeted that thing, and I'm like, so we have snitch armies, we've got contact tracing, we've got 85% of the country that's been declared a domestic terrorist. How's everybody feel about their Independence Day? You know, and somebody in that thread was like, yo, dude, Jehovah Witnesses don't even go door to door anymore. But they're going to have the mobile jab lab. I mean, let's be honest. I always thought a Pokemobile would be way different.
I don't know, dude. The JWs hit up my house every couple of weeks, and I asked them if they're still covering up the sexual abuse of children, and they get the fuck off my lawn.
Fair. I haven't
seen. No, they're still out in court. It's crazy every Saturday.
I haven't seen.
There's a Kingdom Hall like a 5-7 minute drive away from my house. Kingdom Hall Jehovah's Witnesses, but it's been boarded up ever since Hurricane Irma. So yeah.
The Church of Latter-day Fauci.
Right. I do wanna fucking just to end on a laugh, because we should wrap, and then we're gonna have a team meeting in about like a half an hour or so. But I gotta eat too. So this happened, and this is one of the sillier things that I read today. The staff of Spotify is outraged by Joe Rogan's show. Joe Rogan, the notoriously polarizing host of the Joe Rogan Experience. How is that accurate? Do you think anyone, or is it just like the very online shit lib community that gets like hella trigger, like the no one on the planet is pure enough for me to even consider listening to, therefore I only read the same 3 dead Russian writers? Is he notoriously polarizing? Anyone?
Are y'all really the dude was kissing Elon's ass, y'all, and you're mad about this? Whatever.
Huh?
I was saying, dude was kissing Elon Musk's ass, and y'all mad about this?
So here's where we're at. Upsetting some Spotify staffers. Employee complaints fall on deaf ears who paid Joe Rogan more than $100 million to exclusively stream on the platform. I'm personally bothered by his transphobic contents. I'm concerned with the way he might spread misinformation, said one Spotify employee named, I'm going to guess Sequoia More White. Ooh, maybe I should incorporate that into the next bit. Former employee told the publication that his time at Spotify, the decision to sign a deal with Rogan was one of the most contentious the company made. Another employee told Insider it's only a loud minority of people who are outraged. No shit, because Joe Rogan is really not that controversial, especially not in the last 5-6 years. When Joe Rogan was controversial, that was the Joe Rogan Questions Everything show. That was when like some truly wild shit happened. There were topics that were explored that have never been touched since by that dude. And like the guests that he has on, largely very safe.
Yeah.
People just get mad about shit that they haven't even like thought about. Wake up, needing to be mad. The dude who is going to allow you, the Spotify employee, to send your kid to private school because you know that Spotify employee, if they have kids, is gonna send that kid to a private school. Like, you're gonna be mad at him because you have a hard time following a conversation. Okay. Fucking cartoon. Shadowband refugee.
Orale.
Uncle Bad Dutch. Oh, I'm sorry, I fucked that up. Uncle Bad Touch can eat a bowl of cack. Uncle Bad Touch can jump in a pool of cocks and do the backstroke. Them and their bitch ass jab army are not fucking welcome at my door. I will not accept that the industry that's been killing my people. I just lost one to OD yesterday. For fucking years are the good guys. By the way, everyone turn into the Unity or Death channel with Magnus Panvidia. Oh, are you on?
Oh, well, I mean, I saw Magnus in the chat, so what up, Magnus? And I
Hey,
saw
Magnus.
notifications. He just appeared in the Discord, too, so yes,
Aha.
sir. Let's go.
Wait, what chat? Oh, there you are. Vibe don't knock. All right, y'all. Well, we've been going for about an hour and a half, and we do have a team meeting, and I should eat. So all of that's gonna happen. Huge thanks to everyone for hanging out, watching, being a part of this. If you're currently watching on YouTube, why?
Odyssey's getting cash tips soon too, by the way.
Word. And we're currently live streaming on Odyssey. It's the wrong title, which
I'll explain that to you after the show. It's weird.
yeah, no, it is, dude. They got some shit they need to figure out. But live streaming on Odyssey every time that we go live. If you're not though with us over on the Rockfin, would definitely encourage you to do so. If for whatever reason you have like weird moral compunctions about Rockfin, okay, I get it. Odyssey D Live. Gonna check into getting us on Super U. Couple other things that we're looking at right now. And yeah, dude, I mean there's ways. SlowNewsDayShow.com. Josh is in the process of doing a big ass whole server move. So don't mind the mess. Let's see. At Slow News Day Show and the $ Slow News Day Show, PayPal and Cash App. You could endorse the channel. You could. It'll be fun. It will. You get to support us and be lazy. And you only need $10 a month in your bank account. Like, I can almost do that. Fucking we love you guys. Thanks to everybody who threw a super A. Thanks as always to my better than your co-host Glory Jones. Jones, what do you got?
Trying to think of what else. I was about to be like, always remember to spam new to your pets and politicians, but then I was like, oh wait, that's the anonymous PSA. Wrong show.
Different show.
But yes, do that. Spam new to your politicians and lobbyists and bankers and military contractors and royalty. Also trying to think. I got nothing to promo. Yeah, get out in the streets. Let's make some actions happen. And yeah. Oh, wait. One more thing. So like this is gonna be a quick little mini rant, but like so I did not know what the fuck critical race theory was until like 2 weeks ago, and I'm a university student that goes to a liberal arts college in Los Angeles, so that should tell you how fucking bullshit this debate that culture war grifters are having over critical race theory is, okay? Like, if you can't handle confronting the fact that America was a settler colonialist business project built off oppression of Native and African people, then I don't know what else to tell you. We got to work through that so you can confront your history. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Big up, Sleepy J. Base God, Tech Ninja. Woo woo. Sleepy.
Yeah.
Your work is always appreciated on Slow News Day.
Oh, and at that displeased Mike, thank you very much. He says, thanks, guys. Love you. We love you back, brother. So join us tomorrow at 7 p.m. on the East Coast, 4 p.m. on the West Coast. We will be joined by our MCSE Network colleague, Robbie Yeager, Robbie Receipts, the Robledo Fire, back in the house with... Dude, Robbie's got so much going on. He just launched a newsletter. He's got a Substack, a Medium. He's been scooping motherfuckers left and goddamn right over the last couple of weeks. He's had some huge revelations. Again, if you're not following him here on the Rockfin, please go do so. He's ever so close to being over 10K. And if anybody deserves to have a higher platform, it's the guy who has to teach other people who are financial disclosure journalists how to do financial disclosure journalism. So get on that shit, y'all. Friday, get your shit together with us. It's our call-in show. This is the best damn call-in show on the interwebs. 11 p.m. on the East Coast, 8 p.m. on the West Coast. Call in. It's, God, that shit's fun. Sunday, and you guys know that I have deep-seated problems with people who come on a digital platform such as YouTube or Rockfin and make an absurd claim like, I'm the only guy who does this. It's just me. It's nobody else. I'm the guy. You know, I hate that shit, right? But Slow News Day as a show, from what I can tell, is the only show that gets to interview both Whitney Webb and Johnny Vedmore at the same time. So this Sunday at 1 p.m. on the East Coast, 10 a.m. on the West Coast, we will be joined by Whitney Webb and Johnny Vedmore. And we will be broadcasting that, yes, exclusive interview on Rockfin and Aftermath and iHeart, I think, only. Not positive yet, but I think we're going to disclude YouTube from that. Yeah, pretty sure we are. Not sure what we're doing Sunday afternoon, but I would love to like go ham on the culture war porn enthusiasts for their CRT bullshit. Would love to do that for a bit. That sounds like fun.
I'd love to just talk about history. If y'all really think that America was founded on systemic oppression and racism, then boy, do I have a lot of books for you.
Americans, as a rule, don't know
that come directly from the conquistadors too, guys.
let alone the history of other countries. And just one more time, while I'm saying that Americans as a rule don't know their history, that comes from an essay called 3 Cheers for Socialism that I've been talking about for years now. And it has another one of my favorite undeniable lines in it, which is America is the most propagandized nation on the planet. Inarguable. I've seen some people claim that phrase lately, which is cute. But again, fantastic essay. It's called 3 Cheers for Socialism. Don't agree with all of the essay. 100% agree with that point. Love you guys. Thank you. Thanks, Sleepy Josh, on the ones and twos. It is good to be back doing Slow News Day. I'm going to be doing a big move here like next week. And then we've got the event for X on Tuesday, July 20th. Again, downtown San Jose, Peckham Federal Building, 280 South 1st Street. We will assemble at noon. We're planning on going to 2 p.m. Most likely a simultaneous event taking place in Santa Cruz. Please hold your own event for this. As important, and this is something that I should have said at the top of the show, but as important, there is a video link available for you to sit in on the proceeding. So having thousands and thousands of people log on for Commander X does send a huge message that the world is watching this, fully aware of the violations that have occurred to this man's person and his freedom, aren't gonna fucking sit for it. We out here. So if you can't make it to an event, please commit to logging on for that court proceeding, because it absolutely 100% sends a message. Having said that, man, fucking I love you guys. Good to be back doing the Slow News Day again. Can't wait to see you tomorrow with Robbie Yeager. I will most likely be on Into the Microcosm with Jimmy Jean tonight. I will definitely post about that. If we do, got to double check with him and get a hold of him. If I don't see you later tonight, I will see you tomorrow. Until then, good luck to us.